What's up, guys? Steve here from Comic Con Africa, Comic Con Everything, pretty much the industry in a whole now. We've got a really interesting guest today, none other than Bob Perfect, Magic the Gathering influencer, content creator, pretty much the guy, the go to guy for any questions or answers with regards to Magic the Gathering. Bob, how's the guy doing?
Pretty good, man. Although we're gonna find out if I'm the go-to guy for any questions. Like we'll see just now. Maybe he'll stump me with one or two things. But I'm excited to talk about Magic a bit. It's something that's been a part of my life for most of my life. So I'm keen to share this game with everyone else.
Awesome, man. I think this Magic. I don't know. Like a lot of people think that Magic is a card, obviously a card game, and it's limited to you have to be in a big company, big crowds, and you can't really keep this online. Obviously, a lot of people prefer the traditional method, and then there's everybody else that's moving digital now as well. So, explain to us firstly what is Magic the Gathering.
Okay, well, Magic the Gathering is the original trading card game. It was the very first trading card game created over 25 years ago by a guy called Richard Garfield. He created it as a thing to play between like sessions of Dungeons and Dragons. That was the whole vibe. They were like, cool, Dungeons and Dragons takes forever, so we're going to create this thing to play in between. Meanwhile, Magic games now take forever, so it's just as much of a time suck. But basically, it's the game that started everything when it comes to trading card games, and it's still, in my opinion, the best game there is out there. You play as this planeswalker, someone who goes across different dimensions and stuff like that, and you cast creatures and spells from across the multiverse that help you defeat your opponents. Now, if that doesn't sound interesting to you, it's actually just a straight up strategy game where the whole thing is about, outplaying and outsmarting your opponent and sometimes getting a little bit lucky.
All right. Obviously, luck obviously plays a good part in this. Unless you just
Just a little bit.
yeah, unless you just really have really good hands always, and you just manage to get some good cards. So we so obviously it's traditionally it's a face to face game played
Yeah.
or however people feel.
Yeah, it's usually played at the LGS or on tabletops and stuff like that. Kitchen tables around the world is
Yes.
usually where most people play Magic. But over the last few years, Wizards of the Coast have developed this program called Magic Arena, which is essentially their like Hearthstone clients. They finally caught up to their competitors, and they've actually put out a really dope online version of Magic. Some people might know about Magic Online, which is the older version. That's still out there. You can still play Magic Online. If you've got a collection of that, don't even worry. You can still jam that. But if you're new to Magic, MTG Arena is 100% the thing you should be checking out. It's free to play, just like all the other card games that are out there. Your Hearthstones, your Legends of Runeterra, your Shadowverse, stuff like that. It's just it's got a bit more depth than a lot of those games. Hearthstone is basic Magic, essentially. It's Magic without a lot of the complicated steps and stuff like that. And so it's been great to have like the granddaddy of card games, online, and the client's actually really good in comparison to stuff like Magic Online was. And Magic is finally in the game now when it comes to the digital trading card game space.
Yeah. Do you see that the digital space is more frowned upon by traditional players as well?
It depends. I know a lot of the older players, like they like the digital space to practice. That's, I think, one thing a lot of us, in terms of competitive Magic, the digital space has been pivotal. Magic has improved immensely just because of the amount of games you can play. But a lot of people still enjoy the in-person aspect of it. It's called Magic the Gathering, and we make jokes about the gathering part of it, but it is very much a part of the game. But that being said, the online aspects, there are still ways you can be a part of a cool community. Like we're part of this community called the Easy Gaming Group, who handles a lot of Magic the Gathering online in South Africa. So we have these arena tournaments. At the moment, as I'm talking to you, we're actually in the middle of EGG 7, which is the seventh time we're doing this massive 80-person tournament, big prizes, lots of money on the line. So it's actually a cool thing. You can be a part of this online community as well. If you're someone who doesn't even know where their local game store is or doesn't even have one in their town, there's still this option now that you can still play with other people. You can have fun and crack jokes and do the communal bonding thing, just not necessarily in person.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty cool. So there are a few local communities and platforms that people can go on to get involved, and obviously there's also a few things that could win as well, which is really great for this time. I think anybody would like to win stuff. So, random question to you, right? What is your favorite color deck? Right?
It depends, but at the moment I'm playing a blue-white deck. It's a blue-white blink deck. Basically, I just frustrate my opponents by stealing all their stuff and gaining lots of value. So it's it's a good time for me, not so much a good time for them. But in general, if I'd like to say that I can play any color in Magic. You know, like as a competitive player, you want to be like, I don't have a favorite, but if I'm gonna counter spells all day, that's gonna make me feel good. So yeah, blue and white, blue black, blue red, blue green. That's about it. Blue and something else.
I was just about to say, like, there's clearly a common thread. How do you feel? Do you feel like the current lockdown that we're facing is positively affecting the MTG community?
Man, it's hard to say that it is, and it's a really weird thing because you've got your LGSs, you know, you've got your local game stores who are the backbones of most communities and the way most people get into gaming, like tabletop gaming, like Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. But at the same time, now that we're all at home, it does open up avenues when it comes to playing more games online. I think there can be the slight problem in that we've now got a lot of choice when it comes to games. So whether or not it's actually helping or hindering Magic when there's a lot more competition, you know, involved and stuff like that. There's a lot more other card games out there. I really don't know, but personally, I'm playing more. So I've also seen the bandwidth take a bit of a hit. A lot of people seem to be online at the moment. So I think more people are playing Magic online. What the long-term effects of that are going to be are interesting. Wizards have set up an amazing project. They're doing this thing called FNM at home. So usually you can play Friday Night Magic. You go to your local game store with your favorite deck and you play against your friend, and you play against everyone else. And it's quite a fun experience, but you can't do that at the moment. So what Wizards has done is on MTG Arena, you can play an FNM on there and you tell your local game store and they give you a code and you get like the special sleeves on MTG Arena now that can only be done this way. And the cool thing is, I think the stores get a little bit of a kickback from that as well.
Nice.
So they're trying to help out by integrating this digital space and the real life space at the same time, and especially in a time like this. So I think that's a pretty cool thing that Wizards have done. And I haven't taken a part in it yet, but I'm probably going to do it tonight. So
all right,
excited.
cool. Awesome. So obviously that's another platform people can join and get in on it. Many people say Magic the Gathering can be quite an expensive hobby or game to play. And obviously, like in current financial situations, some people might be saving money, some people might be losing a lot of money. So do you have any advice for like how people could maybe budget if they want to play and don't really have the funds?
I mean, it's completely free if you're playing it on MTG Arena.
Nice.
So no budgeting required unless you want to buy stuff. Personally, I spent $20 on MTG Arena about a year and a half ago. And I've got almost all the cards. I've got almost everything there. Like I can play to my heart's content. In real life, you're going to have a harder time. In general, Magic is also the first trading card game, and so it took a lot of aspects of baseball trading cards, and so you've got that, but you've also got a whole other economy attached based on rarity and based on use, how much the card is in use at the time. So prices are always shifting. It's a chaotic game in that respect. And to that aspect, I would say look at some of the cheaper formats. There's a format called Pauper where everything is common. So you've got different rarities in Magic. You've got common, uncommon, rare, and mythic. Yes. I think that they explain themselves in terms of the naming convention.
So nobody's got an excuse, right?
Yeah, Pauper's a format where you can basically play everything as commons. A deck can cost you between 200 to 500 Rand. And that's something you can resell at another time in comparison to a lot of other games. Like say you buy, an Xbox game on, like, you download it, cool, that's $1,000 gone. In Magic, you could spend that $1,000 on a deck and then resell those cards to other people, trade for other stuff that you need. You know, like, it's got that inherent value. But yes, it is an expensive game if you're going to play it in paper. And personally, I actually haven't bought a paper card in about 3 months now because I've moved into the online space and because of the fact that, you know, the dollar is 18 Rand now. But at the same time, there's lots of people in the community who do have cards and who can lend them to you if you do want to play in paper as well.
Yeah. So nobody's got any excuses now, right? They are free. They are free to play aspects as well as paid for as well, right? Have you? Next question is like, have you ever gotten bored or found yourself losing interest?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, I think every Magic player goes through breaks. Yeah. I don't know, even the top guys, even the pros, like, will tell you, like, I listen to a lot of Magic podcasts and that. Everyone goes through breaks. And I think it's like that with every game that you play, you know, like, especially on a competitive level, because life changes. You enter a different phase of your life where maybe, you know, you've just finished varsity and now you've got a job and now you've actually got to spend a lot more time in that job and you can't focus as much on Magic. And there's also been times where, you know, you don't enjoy the sets, but it's one of those games that keeps you coming back. There's always like, even when you're out of it, you still keep your eye on it a little bit. And so I took a break a few years back and then I got back into it about 6 years ago and I haven't stopped. You know, like, I'll play less sometimes because of other commitments, but it's definitely one of those things that with new sets coming out all the time, you're always engaged. It's a dynamic game where new stuff's constantly happening. So it's hard to get too bored with it.
Awesome. Just to recap, obviously, what we've discussed, and so that fans can obviously use this as a touch point. Just want you to recap on all those platforms and the spots that people can now go online. Any communities you suggest or any online platforms people can get onto?
Okay, well, the main thing I would say, especially for MTG Arena in South Africa, is look for a guy called Adam Pravar on Facebook and look for the Easy Gaming Group on Facebook. Those are the two immediate entry points into Magic Arena in South Africa. You'll be a part of a wonderful community. The WhatsApp group gets a little bit crazy sometimes, but it's a really fun experience. And there's also the online, like the Facebook group. So Easy Gaming Group is the one thing in particular everyone needs to check out. Then go to Google, Wizards of the Coast. That's the company that creates like Magic the Gathering in general. So you can either Google them or just Google Magic Arena and it'll take you directly to the website where you can download that for free. Awesome. Other than that, if you want to keep up to date with South African MTG, myself and Karan Chetty, who has been the South African captain for Magic the Gathering, we have a podcast called the MTG Sharks. So look out for that.
Awesome. All right. Bob, thank you so much. I think it's definitely what people needed to hear. I think the community is growing so at such a rapid rate. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't even have known about this game if it wasn't for all these online platforms that are now coming up and that people can join. So thank you for joining us and thank you for giving us so much insight into Magic as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I'm looking forward to playing again at Comic-Con. I managed to win the standard. I managed to win the standard tournament last year, so I'm looking to do it again this year.
Awesome, Bob. Cheers. Thank you so much, guys. Bob Perfect, just giving us insight into Magic the Gathering and the rest of everything that's just flowing in the country right now. So we'll have a bit more information, and Bob is obviously online as well, so you can catch him on the socials as well. And we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.